I could use this to tap into the programming of your hearing aids right now if I wanted to. Hey guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona, and in this video, I'm talking all about remote hearing aid programming so you can have your hearing aids programmed from the comfort of your own home. Okay, so the year was 2020, and there were some rumblings in the media about a new virus that was detected in the United States up in Washington State. I even had a patient ask me what we would do if we had to shut down the clinic if that virus made it all the way down to Arizona. Naturally, I blew him off saying, there's no way that I would ever shut down my clinic because of a virus. A few weeks later, I had no patients on my schedule because nobody wanted to leave their house because of COVID. However, a few years prior, hearing aid manufacturers started releasing a new feature called remote support inside of their hearing aids. Little did we know at the time, this particular feature was going to allow us to program our patients' hearing aids without them even coming into our clinic. And here we are 6 years later, and remote support has completely changed the way that we work with patients in our clinic. But before I explain exactly what remote support is and how we use it to benefit our patients, do me a huge favor and click the like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, go ahead and do that as well so you don't miss any of our newly released videos. And a huge shout out to Phonak for sponsoring today's video, but more on them in a little bit. Throughout human history, hearing aid users had to travel into their hearing care professional's office to get their hearing aids fit and programmed. And every single time they had to get their hearing aids readjusted, no matter how small the adjustment was, they had to travel right back into the clinic to see their provider. This has always required a significant time investment and financial investment if you wanted this done well. If you didn't care about having your treatment done well, you just wouldn't go back into the clinic and you would have to live with the consequences of your hearing aids not being optimized. However, for many individuals who want to hear their absolute best but have busy schedules, have mobility issues, have weather problems, or they can't make it into the clinic, or they just have better things to do than hang out with their hearing care professional all day, remote support can help. Essentially, remote support is when your hearing care professional can tap into the programming of your hearing aids through a smart device like a smartphone or a tablet. And once they tap into your hearing aids, they can make any programming adjustments that they like and review all the data inside of the hearing aids. And no, they can't make adjustments to the programming of your hearing aids without you being aware of it. Now, there are two ways that remote support can be initiated with you. Number one is by sending you different program settings for you to upload into your own hearing aids through the smartphone app that you use, or by having a live remote session with your hearing care professional. Personally, I like doing live remote sessions with my patients because it allows me to make adjustments in their programming in real time so they can actually hear those adjustments and give me immediate feedback. During a live session, I can also see all of the data that's stored inside of the hearing aid so I can make better programming adjustments during the session. You also get to see me and I also get to see you, so just make sure that you put a shirt on. But personally, my favorite brand of hearing aid to do remote support with is Phonak, today's video sponsor. Phonak initially released their remote support feature back in 2018, and it immediately became my top choice. You can do remote support with any Phonak hearing aid that can connect with their My Phonak smartphone app. Just by having your hearing aids connected with the app, it automatically enrolls you in the ability to do remote support with your hearing care professional. You don't have to set up a whole nother app. You don't have to set up a unique password that you'll ultimately forget, delaying your remote support care. Phonak's remote support platform also allows us to make programming adjustments on your hearing aids in real time without a lag. That's really important when you're trying to do A/B comparisons between two different program settings, which I'm a huge fan of. One thing that I really love to do with remote care is that when my patients are sitting at home in front of their stereo system, I can customize their music program as they're listening to their stereo. All of my patients who are audiophiles absolutely love this. You even have the ability to do an in-situ hearing test through your hearing aids with remote care. So just in case you may have had a shift in your hearing care professional can do an initial diagnostic to see if that's the case. Phonak has even been improving the remote support platform by adding new features over the years. A feedback test with the Infinio Ultra and UltraSphere Infinio hearing aids can now be completed remotely. And you can even use a third-party streaming app like Zoom or Microsoft Teams if you want to be able to use closed captions during a remote session. Remote care is becoming extremely popular primarily because patients and providers love it. In fact, according to published data, 86% of adults prefer remote sessions under certain conditions, 60% prefer remote sessions over face-to-face interactions, and a whopping 93% of teenagers actually prefer remote sessions and teenagers typically don't like anything. And I'll also say that the vast majority of hearing care professionals believe that tele-audiology, which includes remote care, actually complements in-office sessions. Now, remote care is not a replacement for in-office care because you cannot do everything remotely. One of those things is a comprehensive hearing evaluation that includes air conduction testing, bone conduction testing, speech testing, and speech and noise testing, all of which have to be completed inside of a sound-treated booth in order to have valid measures. This will ensure an accurate hearing loss diagnosis and that a proper prescription can be made for your type and configuration of hearing loss, both of which cannot be done correctly through a remote care session. Another thing that cannot be done remotely is an initial programming of your hearing aids using real ear measurement. Real ear measurement is a verification technique that allows your hearing care professional to program your hearing aids correctly to your hearing loss prescription, and this can only be performed in office. It requires placing probe microphone tubes inside of your ear canals along with your hearing aids and measuring the amplification levels of those devices inside of your ear canals while making programming adjustments to match your hearing loss prescription. And if that's not a big enough limitation of remote care, you also cannot get your hearing aids physically serviced by your hearing care professional, nor can they perform diagnostic test box measures on them. And without test box measures, you have no idea whether or not your hearing aids are mechanically functioning properly. But other than that, you can pretty much do everything else. Now, inside of my clinic Applied Hearing Solutions, we have something called our Applied 360 Fit process. This is our 45-day best practice fitting sequence, and we typically schedule 4 appointments to complete a proper fitting of a pair of hearing aids. Now, historically, all 4 of those visits had to be done inside of our clinic, but now that we have access to remote sessions, we can actually do 2 of those visits in clinic and 2 of those visits remotely if our patient prefers. And because we have so many snowbirds out here in Arizona, using remote sessions to stay connected with our patients when they're not in town is a terrific way to stay on top of their hearing aid programming. I mean, come on, it's 2026. The technology exists, so we might as well use it to your benefit. And more hearing care professionals are incorporating remote sessions with their patients to make their treatments more convenient. But I want to know what you think. Do you like the idea of doing a remote session with your hearing care professional instead of always having to travel into their clinic? Let me know down in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.